So I'm going to review this thing after more than a year of owning it. So this is the ZD Racing 9021 V3 roller version. So I'm not going to review the electronics because in the first place there was no electronics that came with it. It's only the roller itself, the chassis, the tires, the suspension arms, the shocks, the gears, and whatever's in this car except the electronics. So I'll start with the body shell. This was not the original body shell. The original body shell was colored black and orange with some black with orange stripes, and I had to replace it because it was too thin. I think it's around 1 millimeter thick. I mean, the original body shell, so I had to replace it with this body shell here, Team C T8TE model body shell, and did some cutting over here and there. This is the innards, or is the inside. So the first problem I had was right the day after I purchased it and put in some electronics, and that was April last year, April 2019. I had these breakages here. I first tested on a 5-foot jump or 5 to 10 foot jump. So I broke this part here in the upper arm. It ripped off, so I had to put plenty of cable ties. Same with the other side, plenty of cable ties, and same with the front suspension arms, upper suspension arms. These upper suspension arms are not the original ones. They are the let's say what I did, like customized, and I had them cut and welded. So the original upper arms were like this, and the plastic quality is really bad. It's really brittle. So if you had them, don't ever jump them that high, or if you want to jump them, just make sure that you will land on 4 wheels, or else 99% you will break it. That's it. And regarding the other the other arms, the lower arms held up really well. These lower arms here are thick enough. I think it's around 10 to 12 millimeters in thickness. This one, just that last year also I changed one of this. I think this was the side that I changed because I bumped to something. I spun at high speed, and this part here bumped to the curb and broke it. So this is a new one now. And the front suspension arms, lower suspension arms, and also held well. Plenty of times that I bumped head on to some curbs and it didn't break. So they're also tough. So the front part there's supposed to be plastic covering here, and broke it. Driver error. So it was my fault. And this the aluminum chassis is around 2.5 millimeters to 3 millimeters. I'm not sure though. This is, I will start with the 4 marker. Wow, this is actually, I don't know if you can see it clearly, but this is 1, 2, 3. That's 3 millimeters. This is one thick chassis here, and it's made of I think 6061 type of aluminum chassis, and never did it break. Well, let's say never did it bend. It has always been straight since the first day I had it. There's also one one good side of this RC here. The chassis is solid, really solid. It almost never breaks. What else? This one. So the rear body posts also have bad quality plastic, but it didn't break this part here because they don't really land on this. But the front one, I had to replace them with much more flexible and better quality plastic body posts. So these are not the stock anymore because the stock ones broke easily. The front aluminum plate for this steering mechanism here is good. It's tough, but the thing is that the screws are not really that tough. I think they're just some sort of steel screws originally. They're not the titanium type, so we don't expect more from them. And I had to replace this thing here, and this one I had to put some cable to hold this thing here because I broke the screw here in the middle. So the steering's messed up on this one. So one thing to anticipate is that the steering of this truck is not really good in the long run, so you have to take care of it. And plenty of this I have replaced. The screws here, the screws and everything, the screws and the bolts. You have to take note of them and replace them carefully. I mean, inspect them carefully and replace them if possible. And this is why my steering is really bad. The servo saver here seems to be really soft. Look at this. I can just hold the front tires and steer it myself. The tire is not steering, but I can steer it because the servo saver is loose. I cannot tighten this, it's broken. So one thing is the servo saver can break in the long run, but it will take time. It's more of a wear and tear. What else? The shocks are good. The front shocks are good. It held up well. So it really depends on the quality and how they make it. Well, it's not really bad. Held up well, the shocks and everything. Just the rear shocks. It's not. But which shock is it? This shock is good. It still has oil in it, but this shock has lost all its oil because there's some leak here, and you can notice it's a bit wet in here. I mean, it means that the oils have leaked, so there's zero oil in here. So it's purely bouncing. There's no soak and everything. Purely bouncing, unlike this one, there's really soak. So this thing doesn't run smooth off-road anymore because of that. Simple fix: replace the shocks. They're cheap. Oh, there's one thing here. I've replaced center diffs. Like, this is my 4th center diffs in the past 16 months that I've owned this truck. So as you can see there, the center dog bone like digs a hole, or let's say digs a portion of the drive cup that in the long run will slice through the whole circumference of it. So by the way, this is my 4th differential center diff. I just bought it recently, like a month ago, for my 8S system testing. The front part here are the pins, or let's say the suspension arm pins. This one extends to the back. They also come loose, and I've replaced 2 of them already because I broke them. I don't know. I don't know if it's from the off-roading or from jumping too much, but in the long run they also break, so I had to replace them with another long pin and some mods and everything there. The under chassis, you'll see the under chassis here. This part I broke them, so I had to replace them. And all the bolts under chassis, they seem to come loose if you don't red glue them. I put red glue in them, so you had to secure them really. Like this, bolts here come off like almost every run. You have to put Loctite in them, but no matter, they still come off. So the bolting and everything, but other else looks fine. This part here, the C hub, let's say I have to put some screws in it, longer ones, to hold up, because my drive cup there is not holding up anymore. Okay, so this on this table, these are all the summary of the parts that have broken and replaced. The first part it broke, of course, the upper suspension arm, which is in the car, and this is the left side of lower suspension arm that I've replaced. So what happened here, I broke this part here. That's where that's where the pin goes in, and everything. I shattered everything, and I had to put plenty of cable ties to hold them together. But it just lasted a few weeks, then it broke again. So I have to get rid of this and buy a new set of suspension arms. For the right side, I still have the brand new one. So this remains as my spare in case the original one breaks. And then the C hub, plastic quality is also bad. And which breaks first? This one. This is where the pin sits in, and it breaks, and then you have to replace it. It can be saved by just putting super glue in it. So this one is the broken one that I have to replace. The next one I broke was the front gearbox. Okay, this looks like it's still okay, but the truth is it's broken. This part broke. I don't know if you can see it though. This part broke here. It's removed, so I have to replace it. And the rear lower arm pin bent. I have to put in a new one, which is the simple bolt. They also bend, but you have to replace them unless you find the titanium ones that don't bend. And these are the front pins. These are the new front pins that are installed into my car there. So they're okay. And these are the old ones that I broke. These are the original ones. You can see how it broke there. And finally, this one are my drive cups, steering cups. I replaced with plastic. Plastic quality is okay. And I'm after the threads here under. I should be able to put some good threading in there. And then this one, the front hub carrier. No, not the hub carrier, but what we call this, front frame. This is where the front pins for the front lower suspension arms will go in. So that's how it works. Has to be screwed in the back part. This is the front part here, and this is the back part here. And the most common to expect is to wear the differentials. I believe this is my second differential, and this is the first differential. This was the original one. The metal is okay, it's never broken. It's just that the gears inside are really brittle. That they tend to strip off easily. These small gears here, I don't know if you can see it though. That's stripped, and all the other planetary gears inside are already stripped. And this is the front differential. This is also broken. So the good thing here is that they're interchangeable regardless. So the only difference with the front differential and the center differential is their size of the gear and the shape of it. This is for the center and this is for the front. They have the same differential cup, not the cup but the differential box. This is the differential box that I removed from there. They all are interchangeable, so that's a good thing about this truck. So you can buy the innards and put them and interchange all of them. Even the differential cups, for the center differential cups, they have different shape for the center and the front differential or the rear differential, but they have the same holes inside. They have the same diameter, so they can be interchanged. These two here can be interchanged. The only weakness of the differential cups, they're not as tough as those high-end ones, because look at this. This gets easily stripped. If you can see it. That's from the force when the motor spins the tires and the gears and everything. That's from the dog bones grinding, and over time it gets stripped. Same with the other side here. So we can't really do anything about it unless we find a replacement from the better market, just like the Kyosho. I think the Kyosho will fit. Kyosho's differentials will fit in this car here. That would be better because Kyosho has high quality materials. And the worst is the center diff that I have to replace them because of this. This is the worst wear that you'll ever see. I think you can see that. There's a cavity there, a big cavity. Same with the other side. So that's from the force. And to think I only run my car on 3S most of the time on 3S for the whole year, and sometimes on 4S, and I ran it 2 times on 8S and was not able to hold it that long. So it really depends on the power also. So the bigger the power, the faster you will wear these gears off. Wear these gears out rather. Yeah, good thing I still have my front differential replacement here. This is the differential pinion that was stripped off. So if you put it in motion, this goes like this. So it's all stripped off. I think we can see how messed up this thing is. So this is also one of the things to be considered. Well, I almost forget about the bearings. Regarding with the bearings, they all held up well stock. It's just I replaced 2 bearings. So the first one I lost the first bearing, and the other one became stiff. I don't know, for some reason. Maybe it's totally worn out, that it's stiff, so it won't spin anymore. So I have to replace it. Not much problems on the bearings, they held up well. There is it. So it has a new front holder or hub. And what's in there? There's also new. And these steering. This plastic steering here, it's a steering cup, and I retained the aluminum one because it's still working. So it's still orange, if you can see it, because it's still working. And new front differentials, spinning in the opposite direction, and which has a decent amount of oil in it. but it's only a light oil. Oh. So suspension test. Good, still good. That's it.